Oh, there we go. Okay. So, that's not quite. Oh, let's make this actually full screen. Oh, of course that restarted. Last thing I did was decathlon, so let's zoom with the A10 here. All right. So let's see. Right, flaps to take off, and here we go. Gear up, flaps up. Oh, right. This has all the E-flite airplanes, well, not all of them, but most of them have safe, so I have to remember to put it back just to regular AS3X mode. Although it is nice to have the panic switch available. I guess this is the closest to something I'm flying. I'm flying the UMX version of this at the park at the, well, I mean, not this instant, obviously, but I have a UMX A10, which is pretty nice little EDF. It's actually the only EDF I have right now. Let's go ahead and bring this around. Maybe do one low pass with the flaps down. Nice and slow. And then bring it into the pattern. So, flaps full. You're down. Oh, yeah, thanks. Hope you're doing well too. Peculiarity of RC is frequently doing those like yo-yos to turn to final because you can't see. You want to make sure you're clearing everything. Do it a lot more in simulator too, because there's no, I don't have depth perception because I'm not flying in VR. Okay. Go through all the E-flite ones today. Oh, this is one of those little trainers. Let's see. Let's get ourselves into a spiral and then hit the safe switch. Boop. It's actually puts pretty considerable bank angle limits. In intermediate mode or whatever, it's actually gives you a fair amount of roll control. I'll just go back to AS3X. And since this is a trainer, let's do a touch and go. It's a pretty small trainer, but doesn't have any flaps, but it already flies so slow that, or can fly so slow that I don't need them. Just do a 180 to final. And bring it in for full stop. Okay, let's see what we got next. Is that the same? Oh no, this is a 1.5 meter version. Okay, let's try it out. Yeah, this is actually pretty nice. Again, it's like I was saying yesterday, the trainers are so much thrust that they're not meant to be aerobatic, but you can fly them that way. Do I have any experience with RC? Oh yeah, I'm a little bit rusty, and crashes in the simulator don't cost anything to fix. Although I am trying not to crash, because as they say in the little training, which is not the best designed, but they do give you good advice, or the narrator gives you good advice, who says, you want to build good habits in the simulator because you'll get muscle memory that copies to the field. So I want to get in the habit of not crashing. But yeah, I've flown tons IRL, real RC, and I've flown full scale some too. Well, I haven't done that in a while, so that's even more expensive. Although I have never crashed a full scale, I've crashed mini RC. Is that oh, I mean, nothing. They have done that. They are actively doing that right now. Um, the small scale turbines are usually not a good choice because they're actually pretty expensive, um, and uh, they do have good thrust to weight ratios, but um, I mean the whole point is to get costs down, and those turbines are several $1,000s, so better off with just a little like uh, uh, piston powered engine, which they have been doing. I'm gonna try the GPS version. Why not? Let's see what it does. So let's see what happens if I put it into Not sure which switch actually controls the GPS feature. I probably should have looked that up before I took off. Oh, it's just geofenced. Okay, yeah, so if you get outside the geofenced area, it just flies back inside the geofence. And then it does a wing rock so that you can see where it is and to tell you that you're back under manual control. Okay, so it's just the GPS just geofences it, which is actually fairly useful. Like, if I go ahead and turn it on, it'll climb, and then when it gets to the edge of the geofence, it will fly right back. Very cool. I go back into AS3X only. Actually, can it auto land? Oh, well. So easy to land anyways. And this is exactly the same, so which that is one thing when if there's more than one airplane that's identical except for the battery, I just always go for the whatever has the highest the most number of cells. I will do both the tricycle and the um, tail dragger configurations, but I'm not going to bother flying the 4 cell. Don't really need the flaps, but got them. So let's drop the flaps to full, come in nice and low and slow. Well, slow as we can. It's actually going to do a slip here just to bleed off some energy. And then come in low and slow here. Do just, I actually guess it'll turn into a touch and go here. It's trying to stay just off the ground. Right, let's do a remember to actually, because it throttles up quickly, but you have to have the throttle there to not bleed off the energy. Not doing a very good job. That's fine. All right. All right, I'll flaps 10. Round. Flaps. Is made. And there we go. A 3-point touchdown, but that's fine. All right, let's try the tail dragon version. Flaps take off there. So the tail dragger will be a little bit sportier, not a huge difference because here is even, it's not very heavy on a RC. I do. I don't have a medical though. Twice actually, it's the same continent, but way up there. And see if I can do a spot landing right, not quite right in front of myself. Again, I'm just gonna go straight for the 4-cell Cirrus. I guess high back from currently not so sunny Southern California here. It's safe on just a regular S3X, which this airplane doesn't even need AS3X. It's already, I don't know, it's a low wing, so it's a little bit less stable, but it has enough dehedral to it. Dead stick it. Dead stick it with a tailwind. So not quite dead stick because I had to add a little power just to make sure I made the runway, but there we go. Okay. Just like the real Cirrus, it's a very nice little airplane. And let's see, oh, this got our first glider for today. Although it's a motor glider, I'm still gonna go to a slope soaring field though. Let's see how well I can slope soar without the motor, but still have the motor in case I need it. So far, other than the launch, I haven't used the motor. Because, I mean, the game is pretty generous with the amount of wind that it puts, which is not unrealistic. It's just this is a very good, would be a very good day. Let's see if I can bring it in without using the motor to penetrate upwind. Nope. Right. It is still kind of hard to get it down. This is getting blown around quite. This thing is just so small, so light that it doesn't have very good penetration without the motor, but it does have the motor, so just use that and try to finally get low enough that Man, even down this low, it just wants to stay in the air. Okay, there we go. I guess we can't see it, but it's not, came down fairly gently. Okay. Delta Ray. All right, let's go back to Carl Henson Field. This one's weird where it's not really a glider, but it's got a folding prop. That's really just so that it can have a pusher without the need for gear. It won't be damaged on landing. It's actually well, I had a tractor, not a pusher, but the what I originally learned to fly on had a folding prop, even though it had a pretty low aspect ratio wing, just because it didn't have gear. Does this have a rudder? No. Again, I have to go around just because it doesn't really want to sink. I'll do the split S to landing. We gotta bring it down. Gonna come in kind of fast, but that's fine. It's a foamy. There we go. Yep. What's next? Oh, the Drake. Oh, this one's quite a bit of fun. I've actually considered getting actual one of these. They're pretty cheap. They're good for short field, which if a lot of, and it can fly fairly slow. Let's do flaps down, do a tight turn, and then get into some high alpha slow flight here. For in slow flight, you always gotta manage the power carefully, because you're controlling speed with pitch, which you don't have an airspeed indicator on our seaplane. Well, more sophisticated ones you can get telemetry. Oh, now, not exactly a crash, but it did get brought down, and I did not intend it to, although it would be undamaged. Let's do the big aileron version of this. This thing is quite a bit of fun, and it even has the little cargo ramp at the back. Which switch is that on? Oh, it's on the gear switch. Oh. Our cargo ramp. Let's do flaps to take off. Cargo ramp up. X power. Flaps up. Oh, that's the AS3X switch. Turn off the safe. Let's do high-speed pass. And then we'll do a low-speed pass. As it passes by, I'll open the cargo ramp. Ramp open. And close the ramp, raise the flaps, climb back out. Do a barrel roll. Do aileron. And let's just do a quick little snap roll. And then bring it back in for landing. Head on downwind. A final. Go flaps. Let's open our ramp again. Okay. Let's see what we got next. And again, anytime it's a choice of identical except one has more features, I go for more features. Okay. All right. This is a, I mean, it's an extra. It's a pretty standard high performance 3D aerobatic. Although it is, I never passed the chance to fly an extra 300. I would love to fly a full scale one if I ever get the chance. And this one, that's not just do some high alpha, but try to actually get into a hover. Very good at, but yeah. When in doubt, add power and just climb out of it. Man. Alright, let's back the other way. Remember to coordinate with enough rudder, not enough power. It's not the easiest plane in the world to hover, but it's pretty good at it. Doing a little better there. All right. Let's look at that roll rate. Let's come in for some knife edge. Yeah. Extra 300 never gets old. Although dedicated RC aerobatic airplanes generally have even bigger control surfaces, but I mean, it's these bigger ones like this actually aren't too far off from the full-scale version in the physics, so. Let's bring it in for some, I'm not going to hover, but just bring it in for some high alpha over the runway and then do another lap for landing. Oh, 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 or just land now in the grass. Okay, what do we got next? I probably will do both versions of the Tomcat here because try it with and without gear. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I think the flap switch controls the yeah, the wing sweep. There we go. So do wings forward for takeoff, which it actually doesn't. I mean, it's well subsonic, so sweeping the wings back doesn't actually decrease drag all that much, but it sure does look cool. And ironically improves the roll rate, although it decreases the well, it doesn't decrease the pitch authority, but it just makes it so that when you do pitch up, you get more extra drag. All right, do wings to the intermediate position. Come around for a pass and sweep them back right as we're going overhead. Man, that looks cool. Let's do just a plain old high-speed pass here. Do wings forward. Do a split aspect to land. There we go. No, it has fixed gear. That's why there's the with and without gear because it's yeah either fixed gear or no gear. So we'll do no gear. So max power. Sweep the wings back for a nice high-speed pass. Sweep them all the way back. Nice low high-speed pass here. An outside loop. Which you have to do very slowly, but it can do it. Another one. Element pull up top. And come around. Slip the wings 45. Back, wings all the way forward. And there we are. We're now in the grass because there is no gear. Nope, that's doing this again. Oh yeah, maybe that'll fix it. sometimes the menus, nope, sometimes the menus disappear. Just have to restart Realflight. Right. Oh, we got the Eagle next. That is a personal favorite. Does it have flaps? I'm actually not sure. Obviously, the real one does, but no, it does not. Okay. And the gear is fixed on this one too. I thought about getting one of these just because I love the F-15. I am a little bit bothered by the lack of retracts though. And also I barely have enough space to fly my UMX A10s. I usually can't fly EDFs because parks I have to fly at are, I mean, they're a decent size, but EDFs take quite a bit of space. Obviously, real turbines take a huge amount of space, but I'm nowhere near being able to do that. This is an Eagle, so let's do some high G turns here. Do high-speed pass into an Immelman. Awesome to have very clean Immelman. Try to do one level out a little bit better. And reverse into a split S. I think this one has safe, actually. Yeah, it does. All right, let's pitch up, throttle back, do our yo-yo to final. There we go. Oh, hello. Okay. I am going to do both F-16s just because I do quite like the F-16. Make sure the gear switch is down because this does have retracts, I think. Although it does not have flaps. Oh, yes, it does. Because the real F-16, well, the real F-16 has flaps, but they're automatic. This one has manually adjustable flaps, so I'll put them into takeoff there. Actually, I'm going to put them all the way down because I'm going to struggle to get enough airspeed here. All right, there we go. Gear up. Flaps up. Since this is a Viper and it's loaded out with ordnance, we'll do the air show maneuvers with the Thunderbirds livery one and do some just simulated BFM with this. Do our simulated run on this runway here. Like a CCRP. Oof. Although you can't actually release the ordnance. Okay, let's come around. Flaps 10. Power back a little. Pull up, reduce the speed, gear down. This also has safe. It does. Turn off though. Nice wide pattern because this thing at lower speeds it doesn't exactly turn on a dime. High speed it has a pretty good turn. quite a good turn rate and turn radius, but it's designed to look scale, not to fly efficiently, although it does handle reasonably nicely. Full flaps, fuel's made, power idle, a little bit of nose wheel steering to make sure we don't run into ourselves, and dug the wingtips in. Not good for a real one, but fine for a little EDF. Okay, now let's do the Thunderbirds version. We'll actually do some more maneuvers with, which that I think also has. Wait, does it have flaps? Looks like it does. Oh, it does not. Okay. Actually, does this one even have retracts? Might not. Oh no, it does. Okay. In that sense, this is the ideal platform. Retracts, but no flaps. Which we don't really need them. Let's do something to do with the real Air 16 at air shows where it's get into high alpha pass. Let me get it around so that it's actually in high alpha. Altitude here, and high alpha, and max power. Head straight up. Position split S into a high speed pass. Transition that into a simple roll. Half Cuban 8. Another high speed pass. Oh man, I kind of want one of these now. Although I think they're pretty pricey. And I don't really have somewhere with enough space to fly a really high speed EDF like this. It's not crazy fast. It doesn't slow down very well. Yeah, let's bring it into the pattern. Slap down, the gear down. It's made. And power idle. Flare. And there we go. Let's maybe taxi this one back just because the paint looks so beautiful. Although I think these are like $600. So what's next? F-27. Oh, it's a little high-speed pusher. Oh, fun. Oh, well, there's our first crash. Can't keep track of which way. All right, Habu. Again, just going straight to the 6 cell. In fact, might as well go straight to the 6 cell with... oh, no, there is no 6 cell with LAS. Alright, well, I'm just going to fly the 6 cell, because that sounds like the most fun. Okay, and we have flaps. Let me see. I don't think so. No, don't need them, though. I mean, it does fly kind of fast. Do we have redirects? Don't think so, no. It is a nice little EDF, though. Let's try, see how well it slows down for a sort of a high alpha pass. That's a very efficient low drag wing. Actually doesn't have crazy amount of thrust, though. Just holding it level here, so we're not exactly in high alpha, but see, it has, I mean, by RC standards, I should say, it doesn't have a crazy amount of thrust. It has a good amount. See, I can just go from high alpha straight into the vertical without any issue. All right, let's bring it for landing. Fan of that little sort of yo-yo into a landing maneuver. I'm gonna have a little bit too much energy. Yeah, let's go around. Our idle this time. It's got to remember it's coming in pretty fast, but it's actually coming in at a decently shallow angle, so a lot of energy to bleed off. Okay, there we go. And we got low gear, so we can. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see what else we got. I might try another version of the Habu just because. Let's see. Oh, there's a 50mm version. Let's try that real quick. Slow and see how it does. Again, it's got a long ways to go, and it looks like it's sinking fast, because it is sinking fast, but it's also going forward quite fast, so the glide angle is nice and shallow. Yeah, unsurprisingly, it does not like high alpha very much. Just doesn't have that much elevator authority. It has plenty of thrust. And it can fly high speed very nicely, or at least reasonably high speed. That gear adds a decent amount of drag, but alright, let's do this. Isn't even a yo-yo, this is like a split S to a landing, and I'm actually gonna have to do a sort of a, I don't even know what you call that very sloppy loop to bleed off energy. Okay. And let's see, maybe do one more Habu just to try out, yeah, with the LAS. Yeah, let's see. I haven't actually used the LAS on anything. Let me make sure to remember to leave safe on. Go max power, go ahead and climb out. Now with safe on it, you gotta actively keep it. It also prevents you from going too fast. Like if you go full power with safe on, you actually have to push forward on the stick or it'll automatically climb for you. So I'm just gonna bring this around to the pattern with the safe on because all I really want to do is see how well LAS works. Which again is a fairly efficient wing, so from the side it's more obvious that, right, it's actually sinking pretty fast, but it's just going forward so fast that the glide angle is quite shallow. A little power. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to flare. I'm going to let the LAS flare for me. Once the runway is made, I'm just going to chop the power, hands off, see what it does. Oh, that's pretty good. At least not too shabby. Okay. I think it's not meant to be completely hands off. It's meant to be so you bring it in and then it helps you flare. Okay. And Havoc XE. It's a similar jet. And again, anytime it's two of the same but with more features, I just automatically go for the fancier one. Okay. And no flaps, I don't think. Oh, no, we have flaps. Okay. Which means we probably also have retracts. We do. Ooh, this is shaping up to be... Oh, let me turn safe off. Flaps up. I am liking this one. What is it? The Havoc. That's what it's called. Come in and do one of those high alpha to vertical transitions. The thing they call the rocket launch in the F-16 demo. High alpha, slow it down. That's a pretty slobby version. Let's try that again. We're gonna put the top. Some S turns to bleed off our energy. It's because it doesn't really like flying high alpha. Try to just hold it level. Stick close all the way back, and then yeah, it's a little better. Another split S. And let's go ahead and do a nice, easy little barrel roll there. And then just do aileron roll. And just do a couple of high G turns. Spiraling up. Sloppy, but it's okay. Nice practice here. And let's bring it in, do downwind, right over the runway, and do like a Chandelle yo-yo into the turn to final here. So bring it in slow, flaps down, gear down. Gear down. Oh, that's the safe switch. There we go. Gear down. Got a sloppy approach, but it's okay. Coming in nice and easy. There. Okay. That was quite a bit of fun. Although I guess I bet these are also like $600 for a real one. Let's see. Again, just gonna go for the advanced version of this. So I think the gear switch transitions, yeah. Okay. So go to vertical mode here, which this is our first vertical flight capable aircraft of the day. All right, let's do gear switch down, and that should transition us to forward flight. And there we go. And since inverted flight, in, and do gear switch to position down, and that should bring us into a hover. Go ahead and bring it back in. Oh, not the softest landing, but it's sort of a electronically stabilized platform. Okay. Oh, night radiant. This should be fun. I'm not going to switch fields this time, even though it is a glider, because it's a motor glider, so we'll just climb on up. Well, maybe I should switch to night setting. Actually, that must be a setting in there somewhere. No. Let's see. Environment. Sun direction. What happens if we set that? No, it just puts it directly overhead. I mean, this is a glider, so I have been meaning to get more practice flying gliders in, but that's something where the simulator is probably the least helpful, because simulating real environmental wind patterns is difficult. Just practice flying nice and easy, not bleeding off energy. Okay, let me see if they're settings. No, because I was just in there. Replay. Oh, environment. Oh, that's wind direction. Okay. Huh. I can't change the time of day, I guess. Okay. Let's try the timber. I will try both versions of this because with and without slats. Uh, yeah. Although I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on it. Because the whole point of the slats is to slow it down. So, second, just verifying that indeed it is a high performance airplane. Oh, let's try that again. So we'll do some really high alpha, but without going into an actual hover. Try to bring it in for a spot landing. Yeah, all right. Versus out the slats should still slow down pretty well, but not quite so nicely. Here it's a little more of tendency to just actually go into a hover, which I'm still not very good at. I can at least knife edge there. Oh. Oh, it's on the ground. Oh. All right, let's try the float plane version. And so let's go to, let's just go with the most convenient one in terms of scrolling, which is the Alpine Lake. Make sure we got flaps down, max power, flaps up. That's actually a thing with these AS3X stabilized airplanes is that like they're almost like trying to outsmart you. So like I'll try to do an aileron roll and just add a touch of down pressure, but it already tries to auto stabilize. So then, I mean, once you get the hang of it, it's you know, you can fly just as precisely, if not more so, thanks to the additional stabilization. But like, see if I just don't touch the controls, it actually doesn't really tend to descend that much, even when it's inverted. Nor does it climb that much when it's right side up. All right, let's bring this in. I really should have the flaps down for that. There we go. That's good. Okay. Ooh, Mustang. Let's go back to Collins. And let's see, flaps to take off. Gear switches down. Max power. Ooh, a lot of torque on that prop. Flaps up, gear up. Man, Mustang doing a barrel roll just always looks phenomenal. Even my sloppy barrel rolls. Just pop the retracts down just because they look so cool. Gear back up, max power, flaps up. Fly inverted for a second. Roll back level. Do a high G turn. Into a high speed pass. Roll into another high G turn. 60 and power back. Flaps down, gear down. Around for landing. Porpoising, because I'm not the best at landing tail draggers. All right, let's back up. Any of these do anything, or is it just, yes, 3x to see? Okay, that's next. Oh, T28. Although again, I'm just going to go straight for the 4-cell, although I will try 1.1 and the 1.2 meters, but no, fly them both on 4-cell. Okay. Does this one have flaps? Or I think only the 1.2 meter has flaps. I'll just put the flap switch down in case it does anything. Yeah, I don't think this one has flaps or retracts. Yeah. Still a nice little airplane. I guess I'll read that in a second. This is a good. Oh yeah, this is a very good beginner's plane. I mean, it's modeled after a trainer and it flies like a trainer, but it still has enough responsiveness that you can do some basic aerobatics with it. Go inverted there. And I'll bring back in. So I'm going to fly the 1.2 meter version, which has flaps and retracts. see. Oh, right. Here from yesterday, because I'm trying to get through the entire catalog here, but I realize that's going to take many, many hours unless I only spend a few seconds on each, but I actually want to spend some time flying each one, so probably just going to get through all the various E-flights today because they're just listed alphabetically. Yeah, let's do the 1.2 meter because this has, I mean, modeled on the same plane, but only slightly bigger, but this one has flat, well, it definitely has retracts, and then, yeah, it has flaps. Which actually, let me enable the variable twist flaps, because, what is it? It's actually kind of nice to have for this one. Okay, that should be good, and max power. Climb out, keep her up, flaps up. There we go, keep her up. In. Oh, that was a little close. I want to bring the flaps down and come in for some slow flight. What? Oh, for the simulator. Oh, I'm using a DX7E or NX7E. Yeah, I think it's NX. It's the one that's in the white box. Yeah, I think that's NX7. Or no, it's NX14. I don't even remember. I should look. It's the one it's only got 7 channels worth of uh, control inputs, but it's got 14 channels that it can transmit on. So I can't remember if it's called a 7 or called a 14. But it's like a spectrum. It's a spectrum transmitter because this is, I mean, a game that's published by Horizon Hobby, so it has better compatibility with their transmitters. Oh yeah, they have those. It seemed kind of pointless to get one just for that. I mean, if you get one like with the pre-packaged with the software, but I got the game itself on Steam sale, and then I just got a transmitter that has USB-C. Okay. Timber? Oh yeah. I'll do the version with slats. So again, the whole point of this is to have a short field. So we'll do full flaps. Basically take off in 0 length there. Recommend something. I'll read that in a moment. Plugs in is made. Get a crazy good one. Oh yeah. I have a Tyrannus. Uh, that's what I use for anything that doesn't require Spectrum. I was actually using my Tyrannus to play the game with the game for a while, but uh, in typical fashion with anything proprietary, they make cross compatibility not very good, which is mostly just, you know, they have better documentation on their own product, but there's also a degree of trying to keep you in their ecosystem. All right, let's go back to the lake for the float plane version. Right, and flaps full, max power, up in the air. Oh, I think I left safe on. Which one is it? No, that's just... Did I? It seems like that's awfully slow roll response. Let me fly upside down, though. Nah, this plane just doesn't have a very good roll rate. So I think it does. Yeah, it does have safe, but yeah, even with safe off, it just doesn't have that much aileron authority. It has decent, but float plane just doesn't go very fast, and the ailerons aren't that huge. So I think this is more. The other one was more of like a sporty little short field airplane, and this is, I think, more of a short field trainer. Be recoverable. Uh, and again, I'm just going to go straight to the fanciest version. Oh, right, and go back to field. Nope. A little too aggressive with that one. Okay, let's do just did basically that same with float plane. I'll try the version with slats though. Right, flaps down. Oh man, it's a lot of flaps. I guess that's kind of the point, is you can get going really slow. See if it can actually pick up any speed with the flaps up. Probably. Oh yeah. Let's see now if I just cut the throttle full flaps. How fast does it slow down? Pretty quick, actually. Trying to do a cool little 180 to spot landing there. Okay. Yeah, let's do the float plane too. So you want to see, oh man, that's do an outside loop without even trying to. I'm not very good at float planes. Pass here. Low speed pass and just keep the flaps down and transition into the landing. There we go. See how many more we're in. Still got a lot of just trying to get through all. I think if we get through all of, because there's so many things that are electric something or there's so many just E-flights. Try to get to just the E-flights today. Turbo timber evolution with slats. Let's try the float plane again. I've been doing kind of poorly with those, and the whole point of this is to get better, although there's not really many places for me to practice float planes, because I have estuaries, but it's not really good to fly there because they're protected habitats. We don't have a whole lot of lakes. Just practice landing here. Do flaps down. Let's try to hold the nose down, and if we're worried about making it back, make sure to have enough airspeed for the flare. And there we go. Okay, that was a little better. field. Oh, oh no, the flaps are down. Okay, there we go. That takes off quite nicely. Flaps up. See if we can do some knife edge. Oh yeah. Into a low speed pass. Flaps down. And just make it into a landing. Yeah, let's try it without. Let me try the float plane again because I actually really do need to practice a bit with that, even if I don't do it a whole lot in real life. I kind of like to. There are some some okay spots for it around here, even if this isn't the best place for it. Just practice flying with the flaps down a little bit just to get a better sense of how it responds. Try to do nice level turns. Try to do nice coordinated turns. And let's try to actually fly a pattern because you can land any direction on the lake, so generally want to land into the wind, but there is no wind. So keep the power. Okay, that was a little better. Still a little bit steep. Shallow out the approach a little bit more next time. Yeah, let's fly the without slats too, just because again, I need some float plane practice. Well, need, quote unquote. I'm not very good at it. I would like to be better. Yeah, let's just do one sort of pass here and then transition to the pattern. Ups 10. Maintain a nice level downwind. And then do sort of 180 to final. Full flaps. Not gonna quite go power idle, just ease it on. Land as long as we want, because there we go. And yeah, let's just taxi back. And put the flaps up so we don't accidentally get too much lift. Get into porpoising. Practice some water taxi. This must have water rudders. It's handling way too nicely not to. Yeah, it does. Let's see them wiggling down there at the back of the flutes. Okay, that's next. Oh, otter. I'll do the float plane first, just so I don't have to switch airports as many times. Do I have flaps? Oh, we do. All right, flaps to take off. Max power. Flaps up. seems like it likes to go a little faster, so let's just do one more pass. And oops, 10. A little more power in. Float planes, you got all the drag from the floats. You really got to keep some throttle in. So I'm realizing the more I do this. All right, do full flaps. And oh, okay. All right, that worked out. And again, let's taxi back. Flaps up. Okay, now I'll try the regular otter back at the field. Okay, flaps down. Max power. Flaps up. It does not barrel roll very nicely. It does fly scale quite nicely, though. You can do just a regular roll with some altitude loss, which probably looks nicest doing the pitch up roll to just an aileron. There. And a loop just fine. It's not as ludicrously overpowered as some of the other airplanes. Let's do a low pass here. That's 10. Final flaps. All right, very nice. Fun little airplane. Okay. What do we got next? All right, we already did the float. Oh, I used to have a UMX Radian. It got lost, but other than that, they're quite nice little airplanes. I might get another one, actually. Just glide around a little bit here. Just practice nice, easy control movements. Oh, slow stick. That'll be, actually for this one, let's go to the tiny little city park, which is representative of the types of places I have to fly, to be honest. I have some slightly bigger parks than this to use, but can actually do loops with this, but there's no ailerons, so you can't really do rolls. You can do like a hammerhead kind of deal there with the rudder, because it actually does have a good amount of power. Mostly you can just slow it way down. Do loops right in front of you, sort of not like vertical loops, but just do a circuit right in front of yourself like this. Get a little bit further away. And it looks like it's embedded in the grass, but that's just the texture, or I guess the graphic model. Okay. Oh, this is the UMX TimberX. Yeah, for the UMXs, let's try this little park. Does this one have flaps? I think it does. I think they're probably flapper-ons, but let's taxi it over and take a quick look. Oh, yeah, they're flapper-ons. Okay. We can put this one into a hover. Flaps down. Okay, very nice. Okay. And what other UMXs do we have? UMX Timber. Wait, how is that? Is that the one I just flew? Turbo Timber. Timber X, Turbo Timber, select, fly. Oh, I guess they just look very similar. Flaps up. Oh, that didn't happen. One more UMX. Oh, this is Ultrix. Ultrix actually is pretty, it's kind of hard to fly in a little park, but you can, because it can get pretty speedy, but you can also keep it pretty slow. Just do sort of snap roll maneuvers like that. And sort of knife edge with it, which you're really just using thrust, the differential thrust there, because it doesn't have any rudder servos. There we go. Doesn't have any gear. Okay. So now Osprey. So with that, we go back to what's it called? Field here, which I guess it's VTOL, so it could fly it in that part. But I think it's the is it the gear switch, flap switch? How do you? Oh, there we go. It's the AS3X switch. Switches it to VTOL mode. All right, so go ahead and lift off in VTOL. And let's go ahead and transition to forward. And fully into forward flight. Oh, a little bit tricky. Let's try that again. The AS3X really likes to pull the nose up for you, which usually is good, but sometimes it tries to outsmart you. And bring it down. There. Okay. What else do we got? Oh, this thing. This will be fun. Another prop-driven racer, but this one has retracts, and it's electric, so it. I mean, it can definitely. Oh, safe switch. It can definitely do other maneuvers, but it's built to do things fast. So these racers always look awesome doing barrel rolls. Do a half Cuban reversal. Do a nice high-speed pass. Man, that's quick. Transition into some high-altitude inverted flight. And into this way, and just into a conventional loop. To another see if it can even go slow. Usually these things, let's do our sort of sloppy half Cuban reversal and see if this thing even has flaps. I don't think it does. Oh, it does. I guess it would have to, otherwise it'd be kind of hard to get it down. Even with the flaps down, it's just such a low drag wing. It does not want to, it just wants to keep going. It's not designed for high alpha, but get down to a much more reasonable speed with the flaps down. Now let's bring it into the pattern. Power to idle. Go flaps 10. Drop the gear now that I'm at a speed that hopefully won't rip them off. Nope, we're good. Go ahead and do full flaps. Do this sort of 45 to final thing. There we go. And it still just does not want to slow down. Okay. That was pretty fun. Again, I'm just always going for the fancier version. I will try the 70 and the 90mm versions though. I think those will be the last couple for the day. I'll do flaps 10, max power. Flaps up. Oh, it does have retracts. Flaps up, gear up. And this thing is actually not going to be quite as fast as I think the one we just flew, but it'll fly. Like, EDFs have certain je ne sais quoi to them. It's not just the cleaner look. The thrust just handles a little bit differently. For the speeds that RC plane can realistically fly, a prop is always going to give you better efficiency until you get to the point where you're using an actual turbine, at which point you're more so limited by the legal maximum, which is, I think that's technically the legal maximum for the AMA insurance, but if you're flying a turbine, I would recommend having that, because that does not insure the plane, it insures damage of anything else. This thing's still pretty quick, though. Let's see how slow it can go. Bring in for a high alpha pass. Flaps 10. Flaps 20. Bring the power back in. And let's do a Cuban into the landing. Flaps down. Gear down. Start flaring. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Can I get all the way through the E's, or are we gonna have to? I think we're gonna have to end with the last of the E-flights. Alright, so we'll do the 90mm version of this Viper. So let's do flaps 10 and max power. And gear up. Oh, oops, flaps up. Accidentally turned safe on. Pretty speedy. Let's come in for some slow flight and just transition that into going through the pattern for the landing. So flaps 10. Flaps 20. Drop the gears, we pass over the field, so we can watch it come down. Bring the power back in. Back downwind. Actually put in the first notch of safe limits just so I don't get into a spin on the final here. If I get too steep. And power idle, there. And there we go. Yeah, let's bring this one in to take a look at it. Pretty cool looking little EDF. So we got, actually looks like split flaps, which is nice. Really helps it slow down quite a lot. Got a couple of lower ventral fins there for some stability. Yeah. All right. I think that'll be it for now. Got through all the E-flite planes, which is a significant number. Let's keep going tomorrow.